It's all good.
Oh,
Okay. And listen, guys. Hey, what's up? What's up, y'all? This is Robb Johnson with Coach Chris here from Ram Talk. Let me give you the intro one more time. I wasn't even live, but hey, technicalities happen sometimes.
Ram Talk, Season 4.
All right, let's try this again. Coach, what's up, man? How you doing tonight? Welcome to Ram Talk for the first time. I'm hoping that we can do this again, hopefully more in the future as well. Introduce everybody to you and what you do, some of the great work you do, Coach.
yeah, man, definitely appreciate it, Rob. For you having me on tonight here on Rams Talk. Pretty much, I'm the host of the Couch Coach Live podcast. We do a weekly show, talk about the latest in the world of sports. Also, cover VCU Rams basketball, men's and women's. Pretty much cover just about the various sports in the Richmond, Virginia area. University of Richmond. Football, Richmond Kickers, just to name a few. So just
Hmm.
just guys just chase, just trying to live a dream, like we talked about a little earlier. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Did you get a chance to see any of the VCU ladies game against LaSalle from Saturday?
Yes, I'm able to watch it. My ESPN2 been a little problematic as of late, so surprisingly, it worked well for me on Saturday. It was definitely a great game. VCU definitely from the start had control of that game. Obviously, you look at just what a great performance by the team. Obviously, it was 75-50 win over LaSalle. And you look at especially in that game where obviously LaSalle that was somewhat of an emotional night for them because that was their senior. Well, it wasn't that it was their night they honored the seniors, and this is like one of the last opportunities in that gym before it's remodeled.
Hmm.
So great game. I mean, you look at just they dominated that basketball game from start to
Yeah,
finish. You
winning
look
by
at
25
great
points. Yep.
performances. Yeah, Sarah Tibiasu, 17 points. Tamaya Lewis Utsi, 14. That backcourt, once again, is just dominating. You even had Michael Parham, 15 rebounds. Great game. Just
Yes.
overall great game. And it's been such a great season for this Rams basketball team. And it's looking pretty good for this team going
For,
forward.
for, for, for me, Coach, I look at how crucial. Now, another player that I feel like hasn't been getting off as much as she usually does is Azari. But when she starts to get off, that's going to be a
Yes.
problem. And as much as I love Sarah Tibiasu, because I think that she's a great player, I think that she could possibly even play on the next level if given the right opportunity. I think the key for this team is Lewis Etsy. And because when she goes, I feel like this team goes. And she can be kind of like that Robinson type player that we had a few years back. How crucial is she for the VC Lady Rams to get to their ultimate goal of winning the A10 championship?
Crucial. I mean, you even look at it, some of the matchups, and I've even some where they were behind and trailing. She's been the catalyst on those runs. She was the one that was the most that was aggressive and doing her thing. So yeah, she's definitely a catalyst of it. And you look at even as a sophomore, her ability to take over a game is something that's very impressive. So I agree with you, especially when the chips are down. That's somebody who you want in your corner to lead your team back.
When we get to the tournament, how many points do you think Parham is going to have to score? Do you think it has to be between maybe 10 and 12, maybe 8 to 12? Her rebounding is so crucial. How big is she going to be non-scoring wise? And with you scoring a little bit, but not having to score too much.
Defensively, yeah, like you said, getting to the boards. She's very physical. Obviously, I talked to her on Wednesday's game against St. Joseph's, and I think in that game she had 10, and you could just see just her physical nature, and she's going against some very physical women in the paint. So you look to yourself like, man, that's crucial. And like you said, for us offensively, I think she'll if she can get in that maybe I say like 8 to 12 range, it almost get to double doubles in a
Hmm.
sense. I think where she could definitely could definitely help on that offensive end. If she can get like 10 and 10, it would be tremendous.
Definitely. So you look at VCU. You never want to look ahead. They beat LaSalle. They have the Rhode Island Lady Rams tomorrow. I believe it's tomorrow, and
Yeah,
then
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Yeah,
I believe, and they're 17-12. Now they get past them, then they're going to be playing against George Mason on March the 2nd, which is Saturday at 1 o'clock. I will actually be there. I'll actually have a Saturday. How
yeah.
big possibly are these last two games and that Mason game, especially a Mason team who just beat Richmond?
Yeah, it's huge. And like you said, Rhode Island, that's another test where you look at, even though like we talked about, it's the A10, it's a
It's a
conference.
rivalry. It's a rivalry.
Yeah, obviously, and we know Tammy Reese will have her team ready to play.
Yes.
You
Yes.
look at that situation where, like you said, this could potentially be a potential trap game because you like obviously if they can take care of business and take care of that, then Saturday is going to be crucial. I mean, you think to yourself, this is the difference between you playing, in the A10 tournament Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening
Mm-hmm.
or Friday first thing Friday morning. So it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of and it's in a way to avenge your loss to them when you play them earlier in the season. So yes, this is crucial. They're really in a logjam. That 3 or 4 spot is right there and right there for the taking. And it could be a situation where they're tied with someone else down the line too. I forgot it was another team there, but there's like a logjam at that 3, 4, and 5 slide.
Yeah.
And they're
And it,
right in the middle of that.
Yeah, and it's going to be the A10 Women's Championships are going to be crucial. I mean, it is going to be
Yeah,
so fun. So if you don't have your tickets, March 6th through March 10th, make sure you get out to
get
the
them.
Henrico Sports Arena. There's really no excuse because of the simple fact it's right in our backyard. So if people don't show up for
Yes.
this, then you really don't love women's college basketball. Don't be complaining that women don't get to shine. It's right
Yeah.
here in the backyard. Coach, speaking of backyard,
Yeah.
speaking of the backyard dunks we saw by Lowell yesterday. My God.
Oh,
Talk
God,
about his
no.
athleticism and how much he is an X factor and how crucial he could be for VCU because this VCU Rams team, they're getting hot, coach. They're getting
Yes.
hot at the right time.
Yes. And like you said, Toby Wall. And it's funny, I thought there was 2 plays. I asked him yesterday, the 2 plays, the alley hoop from Max and then also the no look. Now I'm sitting up top. I'm sitting above the student section. I didn't see the one where he almost kissed the rim.
LeBron
And
S.
right. And I was like, holy cow. But you say he's athletic. He jumps out the gym. He's going to be, like you said, he adds other dimensions to this team. He's another one where, he's starting to get these, getting double doubles. And you think to yourself, man, he's going to be definitely crucial. And like even Coach Odom said, he's just really scratching the surface. And for him to have a game like like yesterday where he tied his career high with 16 and 10 boards, and Coach Odom saying he's scratching the surface next year and his senior year is going to be awfully scary. So it's one of those where if your coach is telling you you're just scratching the surface, we've been warned. But yeah, he pays such big dividends. He gives them such a boost off the bench. He gives them, like you said, he gives that athleticism, jump out the gym ability. Even going against a guy that was like he was like 290 plus. He was going against so he used his speed, he uses his quickness, and he did his thing last night.
Well, let me say this. We'll get to a few questions. We don't have much time left, guys, about maybe 6-7 more minutes to go here. But, Coach, when I look at this game also, Max Schlugger, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I criticize I criticize him a lot at first of the season, talking about his turnovers. But you know something I will say about him? He actually has the game of an NBA player. If anybody who really watches him, he has the ability to go and play in the league. He is improving so much. What is his maturation? And by the way, the men and women have both won 8 of their last 10. That's huge. So talk about his maturation and how critical that's going to be going into tournament time.
Huge. And, you look at just the matchup, with him in general, because there was a lot going into this season, especially making that transition from Utah State, to down in the Atlantic 10. A lot of people
really good school, by the way. Really good basketball school.
Oh, yes. And they're ranked, they're a top 20 team in this country. And, people thinking him making this transition to the Atlantic 10 was going to be there. But like you said, he's going to be tremendous. I think you look at just the fact, like you said, he does have an NBA game. He has the shooting ability. He has that opportunity. He has that range to take over a game. And so, yeah, he definitely, for sure.
And if you look at their beginning schedule, some of the teams they lost to, if people really actually go back and they look at the records and not the names, especially like a Norfolk State. Norfolk State's might shock somebody in the first round, second round, etc. You look at some of the other teams that they played. This VCU Rams team, like you said, they're getting hot at the right time. But Coach, this is my problem, and this is what I'm worried about. Wednesday night, the Rhode Island Rams come in. We know that the Rams are not what they were. We know that the Rams are not what the Rams were a few years back when they were out here, playing good basketball and, contending for 8-10 championships. However, they're going to be a dangerous team coming here at 6:30 on Wednesday. Let me see. Rhode Island is 11-16. It wouldn't shock me if Rhode Island came in and won the game because VCU has these doldrums sometimes. What does VCU have to do to prevent the doldrums against a rival in Rhode Island?
I think they're going to have to start off strong. I mean, obviously, you even look at in this game yesterday against St. Joseph's, they pretty much had to crawl out of that victory in that situation where they went on essentially an 11-0 run to start the second half. And then that, being able to shoot 72% in that second half, they have to go off to a strong start. It's just one of those where you don't want to go behind, you don't want to get behind, and that's going to be one of the key factors there. And I think when you look at it from an offense standpoint, I definitely think they need more production from their starters compared to last night's game. So you definitely think, you're looking at guys, they have to definitely got to get it going early. I think that's the biggest thing. And then defensively wise too, and stepping up on the defense.
Exactly. Getting transition baskets, not getting doldrums. And the reason I say that, Coach, is because we all know what's coming up on Saturday.
Yes.
We know what's coming up Saturday at 6 p.m. I think you were at the last VCU Richmond game, right? You were at that game, Coach?
But I watched it though. I watched it on TV.
I was there. The language, the vitriol. Richmond's going to get it back because that's how nasty this rivalry is. If the country could see how nasty this rivalry really is, they'd be shocked. Especially coming from a classy school like Richmond, classy school like VCU, it gets nasty. So they cannot get their minds wrapped up into Richmond. They got to win this game. Then they got a game against Duquesne on Tuesday, March the 5th, which is going to be a tough game regardless. And then you end the season at Dayton, March the 8th. The reason that's critical, Coach, and like I said, we got 2 more minutes, so let's discuss Dayton. They beat Dayton by 2 the first time. Dayton's going to be ready. To me, essentially, when you play Dayton, the last game of the season, that's when the A-10 tournament really starts. Your thoughts on that?
And I agree with you. And like you said, going back to the Richmond point, and that's like, and even though, seeing it on television, it, like you said, it was chirping and those guys were talking. And that was the beauty thing about it. When the first time I kind of seen like VCU, as far as being able to just like, as far as just the emotions and all this and what have you come out. But I definitely agree with you when it comes to Dayton. Like you said, it will be a situation where that's when the tournament starts. Because I think when you look at VCU, bar anything catastrophic, they're pretty much locked into that double back. So they won't play until Friday. I guess Thursday or Friday or whenever for the A-10 tournament. So like you said, this could be a potential matchup. This could be a, maybe a 1-4 matchup, early on. So you could potentially see Dayton within 7 or 8 days after playing them on March the 8th. So it's one of the things it's crucial. And that's one thing too, where if you have a situation and we'll just, be positive about it. If they can go on the road and beat Dayton on March the 8th and then beat them maybe in a quarterfinal or semifinal matchup, that damn near puts them in the tournament.
Exactly.
I mean, and it's one of the things where you can literally have, because I would assume Dayton still would be considered a quad 1 victory. I think at this point,
Still, so they're 16th in the nation. They're
16th. So
yep. But Coach, just the last question of the night. For the first time, I feel like, and I'm not gonna say ever, but when you look at both VCU and Richmond, men's and women's side, there's a great possibility we get both in their final. A10 women, A10 men. How significant would that be for both programs?
It'll be huge, and especially for the women's, where you especially consider the
Yes.
fact, and that's
Yes.
something that we talked about during media day in October. Like we,
Mhm.
talked to Coach Rossell and also Coach O'Boyle. Is there pressure coming into it, considering the fact it's in your home, it's in your backyard.
Mhm.
So for those two teams to compete, that would be huge. And the same thing goes for in the men's, where obviously that being Brooklyn. But that's a great recruiting tool where you look at, especially now, and I think people started to really realize the rich talent that we have in the Richmond area and also just in all the surrounding counties in this area. This could be a recruiting. This could be something great for recruiting where you have the top athletes staying home and choosing between Richmond and VCU. And then now you add the element of J Nell, who, was once at U of R and now comes here at VCU. And it's just one of those things where it started to become the rivalry because, once upon a time, this was a rivalry, especially on the men's side. And then it
Yes.
kind of went a little lopsided.
Yeah.
Obviously, these two teams made it to the Sweet 16 in 2011. Obviously, VCU advanced on to the Final Four, and then obviously, Richmond fell in the Sweet 16. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think, and like you said, this will definitely bring it back. And like you said, even in that matchup on February the 3rd, it was a very physical game. It was, like you said, guys were chirping, and
Mhm.
it's a rivalry, and it's not to be the king of hyperbole, but it almost had a Carolina Duke kind of like feel to it, where you look at the
No
crowd.
doubt about. No doubt
You're right,
about it. You no doubt about it. I mean, you think about it.
for sure.
Richmond, the differences between Richmond and VCU. I mean, we could get into all the cultural
Yeah.
differences and all that stuff, but
Yep.
we're not going to
Yep.
do that because we don't want to offend anybody.
Absolutely.
But it is what it
Yeah,
is.
it
You know what I'm
is. Yep.
saying?
It's
But
eerily
but we've
similar. Yep.
but we've seen Richmond is starting to be more kind of VCU like, you know. But
Yes.
what I will say is that even though there are some cultural differences in a sense, one thing that is not that you can't take away from either team. They're both very physical programs and they love their teams. Coach, final words on VCU Rams basketball overall.
Big great seasons for both, obviously, especially for the women's. Definitely considering the fact last year they were 7-22. Just a great job of what Coach Bethel Boyle is doing there, and also congratulate to her being all-time winningest coach in VCU basketball history.
Mm-hmm.
Great group of young ladies. Like you said, I can't wait to see them on Saturday, especially the senior class and all that's concerned. And the men's they just been through a transition. And I'm glad, I know obviously in the beginning, obviously as we interact with VCU fans, a lot of people have been talking about
they
the
love their
struggles of
team.
VCU.
They love their team.
They love it. They love their team, and I even told people it's going to be growing pains. I mean,
Yes.
and I'm glad people are starting to realize, hey, it's growing pains. It's going to happen. And now you're seeing what's happened now, especially once the return of Joe Bamasil and also Sean Barrisdale. You see in those games where they're putting up 80 points and what have you. So you're seeing that high octane offense that you seen Ryan Odom kind of orchestrate at Utah State and also at UMBC. So, the sky fell for a lot of people on December the 1st when they lost to Norfolk State, but I told people sunny days is going to happen. But we here, and like you said, and they are clicking at the right time. So it's a great time to be a Rams fan. This is it's a great time for both squads.
Definitely. What I will say, Coach, I know you made a post a few weeks about Coach Bethel Boyle. All I will say is I want everybody. I think my microphone went out. Give me once. Did my microphone go out?
Okay.
Yes, it did.
Okay. Hey.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
While I'm adjusting my microphone, just hopefully y'all can hear me if I'm talking loud enough. But here we go. But what I want to say about Coach Bethel Boyle, I think you made a post a few weeks ago about I think she have like 150 some wins now at VCU or something like that, right?
168, yeah.
Yep, 168. Yep,
168.
168. Yep. Well, what I want to say about that is I hope everybody appreciates Coach Bethel Boyle. She has stuck around. She has built this program. I need more people to come out and see the women play because guess what? When Coach is going to start to get offers from bigger schools. She's going to start to get those big, huge money offers. And when she leaves and the program isn't the same, I don't want to hear anybody crying, especially the ones that didn't come out and support, the ones that did not come out and show Beth O'Boyle love. Here on Ram Talk, I keep it 1,000% honest, because here on Ram Talk we bring the passion for people who love VCU basketball. Every time we get a coach, somebody leaves out the door because you don't do what you're supposed to do. Whether on the men's side, whether they're not getting paid correctly, or if on the women's side, when people aren't turning out. You need to appreciate Coach Beth O'Boyle for what she does. I will continue to harp that point until my face is blue and I pass out, and until I'm stiff arming people like Cam Newton did. But anyway, this is Robb Johnson, Coach. Any final words? Let everybody know your social medias and all your work one more time, sir.
Yes, indeed. Pretty much my work, you see it on my website, couchcoachlive.com. Also, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or X, Couch Coach Live. And yeah.
Make sure you follow Coach. This has been Robb Johnson with Coach. I hope to have him back again for Ram Talk. You guys have a good one, and we will see you next time on Robb Johnson Presents Ram Talk with Robb Johnson.
Ram Talk, Season 4.